Hey guys, what's cracking? This is Dusty Can Be Crazy. Figured I'd throw a little vlog out there. Today I decided to go ahead and raise my Gixxer back up. I had it lowered 2 inches in the rear and 1 inch in the front. And this past weekend I went on a ride with some friends, and whenever I did, I was going around a curve and I noticed my suspension had kind of locked out on me. And what I mean by locked out is the rear shock, it compressed all the way. When it compressed all the way, it gave me a real bad feeling like I was going to lose the bike. Almost like the rear end was trying to slide with me. So I decided to go ahead and raise this back up to factory specs. Now, the reason I originally lowered this bike to begin with is because I'm kind of short. But with that being said, I'm not so short that I can't touch the ground. So if I want to start learning how to ride this bike correctly, I need to keep the suspension the way it was, factory. That way I never have a problem with the suspension locking out on me. Now, I'm not a very light guy. I'm short, but I'm pretty heavy. Although, if you ever see my body in one of my vlogs, you're going to think, hey, this guy is not that heavy. But I'm running about 230, 235, and that's kind of a big weight for these bikes anyway. I think the recommended weight on them pretty well is from like 160 to around 220. And if you get any over that or any under that, then the suspension is not really working the way it's supposed to. It doesn't mean that you can't get it adjusted out, and it doesn't mean that you can't buy other suspension. And if you do, you know, you can set it up however you want. But my whole point is, why not just go back to factory specs to see if I can ride this bike a little bit better. And by lowering the rear end 2 inches, what had happened was, I don't really know what it's called, but I do know the rear swing arm hit the connection of where the actual shock mounts to. So maybe it's a shock mounting bracket or something. But anyway, what had happened was, I love that feeling. And guys, I'm going to tell you something else about these 600s. You gotta love them. You're going to hear that several times in my vlogs. I'll be honest with you, on the road, I don't see no reason to get anything bigger than 600. Now, that's not saying, guys, that I'm not eventually going to do it, because, I mean, come on. You know, a guy's a guy, and he wants the biggest, baddest thing out there. And anybody that's got a 1000 that ain't putting it on the track all the time, they can't say any different. They just want the biggest, baddest thing out there, because you can't run on 1000 on the street like you really can run one of them. So anyway, with that being said, let's get back into the vlog. It got a little off track. So what I did was, whenever I went around that curve, the rear end felt like it kind of locked out on me, the shock and everything. So I decided to go ahead and raise it back up. Now, I haven't had this bike very long before I lowered it. As a matter of fact, the second day I owned this bike, with it setting up this high, my wife was on the back of it with me, and we pulled up to a stop, and I kind of twisted my ankle just a little bit because I was on my toes. And whenever I did that, I dropped my bike. Now, my wife has chosen not to really ride on this bike much more with me, because we still have Bertha, which is our Yamaha. So with the Yamaha, she feels more comfortable with it and stuff like that. You know, she don't have to worry about me dropping it. That and honestly, this bike being able to run as fast as it does, you know, it scares her a little bit, and it should. You know, it's intimidating to me too. I mean, I have to admit. So I decided to raise it back up, because she's not going to be riding with me, and if I do drop it, I don't have to worry about dropping my wife, because I was more worried about hurting her than I was my bike. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, the last thing I'd want to do is be responsible for hurting somebody in my family. And if your wife isn't the most important person in your life, then they should be. Guys, any Christian man, and not getting on the God kick, because a lot of people don't like that, but any Christian man, if you're reading your Bible and everything, then you should know that your wife comes first. Your children are going to grow up and they're going to leave home, but your wife is going to be there with you forever. That's if somebody doesn't. Woo! Love that Wheelie. And I'll tell you something else, guys. That's something right there that I'll be totally honest with you. It took me completely by surprise. I mean, I meant to bring the Wheelie up, but the thing is, the reason it took me by surprise is I had that suspension lowered. And I'm going to tell you, raising this suspension up, that front wheel come up a whole lot easier. So I've been doing all these practice wheelies and stuff like that. You're going to see it in my videos that I've done put out. You know, I'm going to have a couple there where I just barely pop that front wheel up, You know, one of them I think I'll say that I've done like 5 in a row that was only an inch. Well, I'll be honest with you, I have never been able to really power a wheelie up, let alone as much as I did right then. That was great, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason you buy these bikes is for adrenaline, and that was a rush. So, not that that was the greatest wheelie in the world, you know, I've got to learn them. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to quit ranting on here and talking about the reason I raised my bike back up. I just kind of want to get it out there, you know, that the reason I lowered my bike was because I'm a shorter guy, and that, you know, I felt more comfortable whenever I was first starting out with a lower bike, because I could touch both feet on the ground flat. And now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with the bike and been riding it for a while, and let's be honest, like I said a while ago, with my rear shock about half locking out on me on the twisties the other day, you know, it bothered me a little bit. So that's another reason why I raised it. But now that I'm more comfortable with this bike, I don't feel like raising it back up is going to be that bad, because I mean, even now I can still put both feet on the ground. I'm just on the balls of my feet instead of flat-footed. So anyway, guys, hey, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave me comments below. Tell me your thoughts on raising or lowering a bike. You know, maybe I'm taking this totally wrong, and maybe I've done something wrong. So guys, just let me know what you think and what your thoughts on the whole process are. You know, if you think I messed up because I raised it back up now that I can't stand flat-footed, you know, let me know. Tell me, say, hey guys, you done messed up. This is why. If you, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you don't subscribe, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time and looking at my videos, and I'm new at this, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. All right, guys, peace out.